picture of fortress carved into the side of a frozen alpine mountain. It is completely silent. It is perfectly still. But behind feet of solid stone lies unimaginable power. This is how the world sees Switzerland, a quiet nation surrounded by loud neighbors, a country famous for its impenetrable vaults. But we have misunderstood the true nature of these vaults. We think the Swiss are obsessed with hiding their money. We think their secrecy is just a banking policy. We are completely wrong. The vaults are not just physical, they are mental. The Swiss possess a psychological weapon of mass creation. It is the psychology of radical privacy. When you hear Swiss success, you think of money. You picture offshore accounts and numbered safety deposit boxes. You imagine billionaires hiding their assets from the world. Society tells us that secrecy is about avoiding taxes. Pop culture teaches us that hidden things are inherently malicious. We assume the Swiss success formula is purely economic, that they simply hoarded the wealth of Europe. But wealth is a trailing indicator. Money is the shadow cast by behavior. You cannot build the most stable society on earth by just hiding cash. The economy is merely a reflection of the culture, a culture that operates on a totally different psychological wavelength. While the rest of the world screams for attention, while everyone else posts their goals on social media, the Swiss have mastered the exact opposite. Welcome to the psychology of containment. Modern psychology has a term for sharing your goals. It is called social reality. When you tell someone your plan, your brain releases dopamine. You feel a rush of accomplishment, but you have not actually done anything yet. You have stolen the reward from your future self. This premature dopamine destroys your drive. It leaves you feeling satisfied with mere words. The Swiss mindset instinctively rejects this. They do not talk about their ambitions. They do not flaunt their current successes. They strip away the cheap dopamine of external validation. This creates a massive psychological void, and that void demands to be filled with actual results. Let us break down the first mechanism. I call it the vault of ambition. Think of your ambition as steam. If you leave the lid off a pot, the steam escapes. It dissipates into the air and vanishes. But if you clamp that lid down tight, the pressure builds. The steam becomes a force that can move a locomotive. The Swiss lock their intentions inside a mental vault. They refuse to let the steam escape through casual conversation. When you keep a secret, your brain allocates extra cognitive resources to it. It literally weighs on your mind. This cognitive load forces you into hyperfocus. You are physically compelled to act on the secret. You turn conversational silence into unstoppable momentum. The second mechanism is the mirror shield. We live in an economy of attention. You are constantly told to build a personal brand, to make sure everyone knows exactly who you are. But visibility is a trap. When you are perceived by others, you alter your behavior to please them. You become a prisoner to their expectations. The Swiss utilize radical privacy as a shield. They deflect the gaze of the outside world. By remaining unperceived, they remain entirely free. They can pivot, fail, and experiment without judgment. This creates a pure form of intrinsic motivation. They work for the standard of the work itself, not for the applause of the crowd. Silence becomes their ultimate competitive advantage. But this fortress of the mind is not without dangers. Radical privacy can easily rot into isolation. When you lock every door, nobody can get in, but you also cannot get out. The Swiss culture often battles a profound sense of loneliness. Secrecy can breed a suffocating paranoia. You start viewing every question as an interrogation. You begin to hide things that do not need hiding. Human beings still require connection to survive. We need sounding boards to test our ideas. We need vulnerable moments to build deep trust. If you build your vault too thick, you block out the light. The pressure can become too immense to bear. Ambition contained too long turns into anxiety. The secret is knowing when to briefly open the vault door. The world is getting louder every single day. We are being trained to trade our privacy for pennies of attention, but true power is always quiet. True power does not need to announce itself. You do not need a bank in Geneva to adopt the Swiss mindset. You just need to shut your mouth. Stop telling people what you are going to do. Stop seeking the cheap dopamine of a supportive comment. Take your biggest goal right now. Lock it inside your own mental vault. Let the pressure build in the silence. Let the isolation forge your focus. Become the fortress in the mountains. Unscalable, silent, and entirely unstoppable. Keep your secrets, and your secrets will keep you.